Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome back to AMA. Before we dive into this spicy episode, we have a quick announcement.
That is right. We have a brand new episode of our podcast, Radical Empathy. It's live right now. Give it a listen. It's about intimacy and relationships and
porn.
Yeah, it's about porn. So check it out, give it a listen, and enjoy this episode.
Bye, guys.
My favorite thing has become ball busting. It's where someone really is dying to get their nuts smashed.
What?
Yeah.
No!
Some topics are hard to approach.
Welcome to my office.
Either the subjects are inaccessible or people are uncomfortable discussing them. So we found those subjects in person, rented a space in LA, and invited strangers to come and ask them anything.
Hi, my name is Princess Marks. I am a professional dominatrix, and I'm here to answer any questions folks might have about that. Oh, so we don't see each other at all.
Nope.
You're in for a ride.
I saw an episode of CSI Las Vegas that had a dominatrix in it. I know a little bit, but could you describe just like what it is that you do?
So I'm a professional dominatrix, and what that means is that people generally come to me to experience a power exchange, to experience a session or a scene in which I'm the dominant and they're the submissive. Play can be everything from light to heavy. Heavy play might include whips and chains and stuff. You know, then there's also like, they might like being encased in like a full leather body bag and just feeling that feeling of enclosure, but they're not gonna be into any like sort of pain stuff. Does that sound intense?
Yeah.
In your experience, what has been the majority of your clients?
Golly, I love this one because I really love to dispel the myth. I think many people think that the only kinds of people who seek the services of a professional dominatrix are like high-powered alpha males, and that's not at all the case. You know, I see some women, I see some couples, I see some people who are students. Some people save up the whole year to see me for 2 hours, you know, which I really appreciate. And I think many people see it as an integral part of their like mental health and their sexual health, which the two of which are intertwined, and they make efforts to make sure that they can do it in their life.
Do you use like apparatuses or a lot of props in your work?
I actually have some props here. Would you like to take a look at some?
I'm kind of nervous now. I'm like, I've never actually touched anything like this before.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'm passing it underneath.
Ooh. Oh.
It's okay, it won't bite.
All right, it won't. It looks like it will bite me.
It won't. This is a traditional flogger. You can hit someone kind of hard with it, but you can also just caress someone's back and it feels like very sensual.
All right, so how do I?
So let me tell you what it is first. Yeah?
So it goes like,
Hey, there
ow.
you go, look at that. Beware of your environment.
It's kind of fun.
It's a lot of fun. That's why it's
I don't know
my
if you'll
favorite.
use it on a person, but it's fun to swing it around.
Well, if someone is begging you to use it on them and like really, really wants you and like would pay you to use it on them,
Ooh.
when you hear the whip crack, it's actually doing like a mini sonic boom, so it's actually breaking the sound barrier.
Oh.
So that's.
Do you hit people with the whip?
Yeah.
And like, is it the tip that's hitting them? I'm assuming not at that speed.
It is.
Oh.
You know, you see like in movies, someone will be getting flogged with something like that, and like after the second stroke, they're bleeding.
Yeah.
Completely unrealistic. It's more of a thud, you know?
Gotcha.
Is there a specialty or is there something that you're known for, like you're the person for a specific thing?
My favorite thing has become ball busting, and that,
What is that?
you're probably cringing. It's where someone really is dying to get their nuts smashed.
What?
Yeah.
No. Oh no. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, my preferred method is kicking. Like that's.
Oh,
I know. It sounds so harsh.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I should just give you a minute to like adjust to the reality.
This is crazy to me. I've just been kicked in the nuts really hard before, and I
right.
can never imagine wanting that.
Right. I would never do that to you as a result because you don't like it. People have a hard time understanding that this other person is really desiring to be physically hurt. But if you're able to have a conversation with that person and really establish like that is what they want, you know, it may or may not become easier for you. I don't know.
What do you think is the biggest stereotype other than, you know, like I personally heard that it's like all just sex work, and I know you guys don't have any penetration from my point of understanding.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's like a can of worms.
Yeah.
Maybe the biggest one is that it's all kind of whips and chains and pain, but what's fundamental to my work and to essentially BDSM and kink in general, whether in a professional or personal context, is consent. And so generally the way that any scene works is the submissive and the dominant have a negotiation. So you're not playing, you're not in scene, you're equals. And you discuss your interests and what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. And I really wish that we could take that like negotiation into like mainstream and vanilla life, because I think it would like go such a long way towards like preventing any of the like consent violation issues we've always had, you know.
How do you feel about seeing like married men?
You know, that's a really good question, because it used to really trouble me and bother me. I had a really hard time kind of grappling with the fact that people were coming to me and they weren't letting their partners know. And then I remembered that like I had broken up with someone I dated for 3 years because like I was kinky in my personal life and I wanted to do kinky things in bed. And this person wanted to do them only once a month or something as a concession, and I only wanted to do vanilla sex like once a month as a concession. But I think not everyone is in a position to break up with someone just because this one part of them is unsatisfied. And so I think many people make kind of concessions or compromises when they decide to marry. And so it really kind of changed my perspective on that, because these folks are not going out and like having relationships with other people. And I think we underestimate how important this part of us is. It's a need, and it's a really big part of like who we are.
What does your family think about like your profession?
That's a great question. My mom passed away before I began. My dad does not know. My sister totally knows, and she's super supportive.
You say your dad doesn't know. Was that something that was by choice, or it just hasn't come up in conversation yet?
No, definitely by choice. It's like coming out of any kind. Like you tell people when you're ready and when you think they're ready. And I think he would, honestly, I think he'd be fine. So I'm not too worried about it, but I also like don't feel like dropping a bomb in our relationship. And I think I'll come out to him when the time is right for me.
Got you.
Yeah.
Have you ever, felt unsafe?
I've actually mostly had a really good experience. I think the internet actually allows us to have a wall between us and other people who might be interested in harming us, and it allows people to screen their potential clients, and it allows you to like set out what your protocols are. And so for me, it's like if you don't follow the protocol, you will not get to see me, period. I don't know if you've heard anything about FOSTA or SESTA. It was a law that was passed in April of 2018 that criminalizes third-party like communication platforms. So for example, Instagram or Twitter or whatever, if they are seen to be facilitating anything that looks like sex work. There's a big difference between sex trafficking and people who are consensually doing sex work. And the law doesn't make that distinction, and the impact it ended up having is that it forced a lot of people who were previously online to go back to working offline and maybe working on the street, which is inherently more dangerous. And there have been a few deaths as a direct result of people going offline and going back on the street.
So what do you think are some of the benefits of being a dom?
What was initially appealing to me and still remains appealing is that it feels like politically satisfying, like even as a somewhat empowered woman, like you walk through the world and you're disempowered like constantly nonstop. For example, I am a refugee. There are members of my family who, for example, are housekeepers. While I have a need to have a clean house and I don't have a lot of time, I have a difficult time with thinking of having a housekeeper who is more than likely going to be another immigrant woman. Because it kind of reminds me of having my aunt in my house and cleaning for me. And so being a dominatrix, I have usually older, affluent white men at my disposal who are not only begging me to clean my house, but willing to pay for the privilege. So it feels like a kind of political and economic justice because they're also paying for the privilege.
Has your life changed at all, or like the way you walk around? Has anything changed, the way you interact with people or confidence or anything?
Oh God, yeah. So prior to being a pro-dom, I was always very shy around people who were older than me. So it wasn't just men, it was older women as well. And I think what this has allowed me to do actually is interact with older people with the kind of confidence that I've felt around my own peers, or the kind of confidence that I feel on the inside.
I feel some of that same stuff with older people at jobs and stuff. I feel like I got life advice just now, so
Awesome.
I always appreciate that.
All right. I offer coaching, look me up on my website.
Really?
I encourage you to reach out if you like.
Cool. That's my next job offer.
Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Princess Marks. Feel free to look me up, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Don't forget to comment below what you thought of the video, make suggestions for future videos, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.